Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining me this day to discuss some of the things I feel is causing a little bit of concern in relationships. In one of my videos, I talked about distant relationships. For one reason or the other, you can find yourself in a distant relationship. And then you discover that when finally you reunite with your partner, you're beginning to find it difficult to cope a bit, or you're having issues that you did not envisage. What I'm talking about particularly today is the issue of fillers and the possible problems it can bring in your marriage or in your relationship. Now, when your partner is not there, you take up attitudes, like I said, behaviors, activities, and set of things that are able to help you go through the period of the person's absence. And then one thing happens, you get busy, you are stuck, or you are fixated on your new distraction, like I would want to put it. And then when you get to meet your partner again, something happens. What happens? You discover that you're going to be fighting to get the person back. There is this popular saying when they say out of sight is out of mind. For some people, it's actually true. For some others, it may not be exactly as it is for some other people. The truth is that when you stay a long time, maybe 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, some months away from the person you so love, and you respect that union, when you meet that person, so many things are going to be happening. Number one is that feeling of you have lost the person, or the person feels I have lost you. Let me give you an instance. Your husband is away, and then you put yourself into maybe business, work, and whatever, and then you discover that you are going to be having to also embrace this new lifestyle. And when you do, you will discover that, one, you are finding out that you are free, kind of free. When I mean freedom, I mean there is nobody now to really think about. Not like you don't remember the person, you think about the person, but when the person was around, you make food for them. You think about cleaning the house for them. You think about doing a lot of things that make your relationship easy, fast, and moving. But when they are no longer there, you now have to care about yourself. There's a little bit of selfishness that sets in. Then when you reunite, it's going to be a problem or a challenge, because your partner and even you feels like the people have moved on. They are no longer in the center of their attraction. And these things can cause problems for people who are jealous. They feel like you no longer have time for me. And they feel like she has forgotten me, he has forgotten me, she has moved on with other things. And when you notice these behaviors, like your partner feeling like rejected, or like you are no longer the person I used to know, don't feel bad or get surprised. Just know that it's a phase. Just know that it's a phase, because I have seen that this kind of situation has broken a lot of marriages and relationships, because they feel that this person that once loved me no longer loves me. He has moved to other things, he has changed priorities and all that. Is understandable. Do you find yourself quarreling always with someone you once loved, and you people were good together, and now it's like you're getting to know the person again? Like, this is not the person I married, this is not my friend. I'm getting to know you. Some people go as far as accusing their partners of taking up bad behaviors and changing and all that. But for you to be happy, you have to understand why things are the way they are, why it's happening. You have to understand that your partner took up certain behaviors to be able to take the shock and the consequences of your absence. Because if they don't, that is when you will see them always on your nerves, like why did you leave me here? Why are you not coming back? And even in such case, you're going to see them as inconsiderate. You're going to see them as lacking understanding. You're going to see them as not understanding that we have to pay these prices now. What are those things that can replace your loved one? Or what, the things that can be a filler? For some people, is the internet. The internet has become a huge respite for people who are either less busy or who have a partner not with them. For some people, they take to the internet, the YouTube, Instagram, whatever it is for you. Some people also get busy with making videos and so many other stuffs that the internet can offer you. So you discover that you bury yourself in that, and then when your partner comes and is expecting the quality of time or activities you did together before now, this one has filled up the space. And so some people get so angry, they go as far as seizing their partner's phones. They go as far as giving them rules. I don't want you to do this, I don't want you to do that. And then the atmosphere is charged and heated between the both of you. Another thing could be jobs. Some people just either get new jobs, or they add to the one they already had, or or they get really busy. They put their heads into their jobs, and you discover that when finally you find yourself together, it's looking like I've moved on, or she has moved on, or he has moved on. Is no longer what it used to be. You're fighting for attention. It's normal. It could still be maybe pets. Some people go as far as replacing their relationships with pets, especially in places where people like pets, dogs, and so many other pets you can think of. If for some people, it can even be as, what if I tell you they've taken to some bad behaviors? Some people go as far as taking up bad behaviors. Anyway, these days we live in a world where you can't really, or people don't really want to specifically call something bad, so long as it makes them happy. To them, the role it is playing, or the happiness they are getting from it, is what determines whether they call it bad or good. But there are certain bad behaviors that people take up just to make up for the absence of partners, and they call it, it's a matter of choice anyway. But I would not advise you to take up bad habits. Some people go into masturbation. Some people go into illicit relationships and replace their partners with secret relationships. Some people go as far as getting into drunkenness, and so many other behaviors that were not there before now. Like I said, it's important you understand why things are there. And that is why it's important to maintain a good line of communication when your partner is not there. How often do you communicate? How often do you get open to each other? If your partner is not there, I'm going to advise that you keep your communication line open. Make sure you have your phone calls each day. Make sure you talk at length. Make sure you are open-hearted. You tell each other how it is. You know, sometimes partners don't go that far to open up to the challenges they face in the presence of a separation. I'm not talking about divorce. I'm talking about people who are really together, still together, but are not together physically. And the fillers, things that I call fillers, that can take over your relationship at such times, and the possible rift it can cause in your relationship. When it happens, I need you to understand that, like I said earlier, is a phase. It will come back. Then, or it will get better. You have a responsibility not to start accusing each other. You have a responsibility not to make a bad situation worse. You know, when you feel like, I can take this, I cannot take this, go to hell, I'm ready to spill it, just because you can now stay on your own, or you have things that have taken your attention. Let me tell you something. You have a natural, you have a God-given responsibility to preserve whoever is your partner. You have a preservatory role in their lives. So you don't have to let it loose. You don't have to let hell get loose on that relationship simply because you felt, I could cope without you for this long. To hell with you. Nah. I want to encourage you to play that preservatory role and know that, and not just in distant relationship, even in your relationship generally, you have to know that I have a responsibility to make my partner be at his best, to make my partner become who he's been destined to be by God, and play my role in their lives. You know, one of the problems we have is that people these days are so much after what they can get in a relationship and more than what they can give. It's a two-way thing. The question is, what are you bringing to the table? What are you bringing to the table? Is it a one-sided relationship? If it's not a one-sided relationship, you have a responsibility to fight for each other. You have a responsibility to fight for each other. Now, let me say that reuniting with your partner is in two ways. It's either they come back to you or you go back to them. If your partner left a certain location where both of you were together before, and then is coming back to you, that's one kind of it. And then if it is you, maybe your partner had traveled to a different location and you are the one meeting them, let me tell you, these things will happen. You're going to meet a different person altogether. And then you have to know that you are there at that point in time for a reason. It's a phase that both of you have to hold hands together and pull through. You have to pull through. Things don't happen in your life for you to tear apart. Things happen in your life for you to feel them and make them part of your story. Put yourself in them and come out stronger. So you have a responsibility with whoever is your partner. If you have noticed that there are fillers, and then I need to also say that some people are in denial. It's important for you to notice that actually something has filled up a space, or the precious space that I once had for this person, and recognize it. That is where the healing starts. That is where the healing starts. But if you feel like, why do you always accuse me of this and that, and you know, you are like, bring it on, I'm equal to the task, you discover that you are going to be instrumental to even widening the gap between you and your partner. Remember that there will be fillers in your relationships when you are no longer together at any point in time, and that those fillers are going to compete for space in your relationship, and that you have a duty to give those fillers their real position when you reunite. Thank you for listening. I'll come your way again. This is Bridges, your relationship coach. Thank you.